AITA for not wanting my half brother to have the same name as me. This is a really weird question, but for some reason it's turned into a whole issue. When I, 16 meters, was born, my parents named me Giuseppe after my grandpa on my mom's side. My parents divorced when I was 5, but my mom got sick when was 12 and passed away a year later. So I had to go live full time with my dad. 2 years ago my dad started dating Kaylee until they got married. I'm not close with Kaylee, but that's not cause we don't like each other, we just don't talk a lot. And I'm always staying with my grandma or uncle on my mom's side when I'm not at my dad's. They found out they're pregnant months ago and also learned it's a boy ever since Kaylee keeps saying she also wants her son to be named Giuseppe cause she likes the name so much and how it sounds. I straight up told her that's my name and would be weird having my half bro having the exact same name as me. Kaylee said it wasn't weird at all and I don't own the name, so I can't say it's mine. She seemed really mad that I called it weird and said I should get used to it because that's the name they're deciding on. My dad backed her up at first, but we talked a little more. I just told him it didn't feel right for us two to have the exact same name and maybe that could be a middle name or something if she likes it so much. He talked to Kaylee about changing it as a middle name so the first name can be something else, but she just got more mad. Now she says I'm ruining this whole experience by making a big deal over a name. My dad is in the middle, as willing to back me up and not let Kaylee name their baby that, but says I should just let it go. My uncle, dad's brother, and some of my friends agree it's weird, but Kaylee is being super cold, so I DK if I'm wrong here. AITA? NTA. It is weird for a father to have two sons with the same name, unless IT has a special meaning to him. At this time the name is special as it is your maternal grandfather's. Is your name special to your stepmother at all? Otherwise people may assume she is also naming her son after your maternal grandfather. You have expressed your displeasure of sharing your name with your brother. I suggest a tactic of ensuring your name is associated with you. If you are called a nickname, I suggest insisting you are called by your full name from now on. I'm not sure how often you see your dad and stepmom, but perhaps you can speak to them more often. Perhaps by saturation, she will become less enamored with using your name. Otherwise, if she does choose your name, perhaps ask your dad what he plans to call the baby. I can't imagine it would be easy for him to call both sons by the same name. Perhaps your brother can be called the anglicized version, Joe/Joseph. I always go by my full name and I live with them. Just spend some days with my mom's family. My dad already talked to her about maybe giving the baby a name similar to that, but she wants to keep it as Giuseppe. NTA. Yes, nobody owns a name, but it's also weird of her to even want to name her baby your name. Yeah, like she wants to replace him. Fucking weird. NTA what? They're gonna start a line of Giuseppes. Wonder what she'll come up with if the next one is a girl. Giuseppina perhaps. Your father's partner is rude, and it feels like she's trying to replace you with a newer model she built herself. I'm glad to hear your father is with you on this one. This is my son, Giuseppe, and this is my younger son, Giuseppe. Like, what? I can't get over how totally bonkers this is. I would ask your dad to talk to some of his partner's friends on this. Do they know what she's planning? Do they know she already had a stepson with the same name? Question mark. What about her family? Question mark. Question mark. I can't believe there's an entire family out there that would think this is normal behavior. And hopefully they could talk some sense into her. Please let us know if you find out she has a sibling with the same name as her. I wanted to give Op's stepmother the benefit of the doubt, but this comment made me realize that she probably doesn't plan on introducing both of them as her kids. This is my son, Giuseppe, and this is that other kid that lives in my house. Apostrophe. NTA obviously. If it were me, I would have said I'm honored you would name your firstborn after me. I would be such a pretentious prig about it that she would no longer want to use the name. Yes, this is awesome. Maybe also double down. And since Op is already so much older, pretend to muse aloud. I bet a lot of people will think Hez really mine, since Hez named after me. So let's call him Junior in public. I'm not 100% on how that naming tradition works, but would not be shy about telling my stepmother that he'll be a junior on a technical AITA and then referring to the new baby by all of the junior nicknames. Chip, GJ, J, R, comma, Junior, Junie, little G, little Giuseppe. I would also be making every joke I could little G, like a little gangster. That's so cool. Look, I'm eating Chip, you know, like our little Chip. Do you think I'll get any of my teachers? Maybe they'll think you found a way to clone me Giuseppe too. The return of Giuseppe. Even just having kids with the same first letter of their name can cause confusion in a household, let alone having 2 children in the same household with the same name. As you said, it's a family name from your mum's side. Surely they could find another name, maybe from the same origin? This annoyed my younger brother so much. We have the same first letter, so when he went to get emails, etc. letter, last name was always already taken by me. NTA. I actually know what you're going through. When I was born, my mother wanted to name me Kyuhee, but my father refused, so it became my middle name. My parents split up when I was 2 and my father gave one of his sons with his new wife the middle name Kyuhee, and now they call him baby Kyuhee, pronounced K. It is a stupid thing to do, and really it probably just feels like you've been replaced. NTA. Your stepmom is nuts. It sounds like she's trying to replace you with this new baby. There are so many other names. This is what I thought. too. Trying to replace you. NTA. NTA. Sharing family names is one thing, but having it within the same family cluster/generation is weird. Talk to your dad about it again. Talk to the wife about it again. Be like, how do you think I'm going to feel when you talk about Giuseppe doing this or that, and neither of us are going to know who you mean? Or do you plan on starting to call me something else? Taking away my name I've had my whole life so that you can use this for your new son? You have a son named Giuseppe and I'm right here. I'm so not okay with being replaced by a younger brother because someone is feeling insecure about their place in this family. Give Kaylee a pointed look, because that's where this is coming from. She wants her man to think of her son first, and she's doing that by giving him his already their son's name. That's some Machiavellian shit. Also, the fact that the name is from his deceased mother's side makes it even more sketchy. Right. She doesn't even have any connection to the name. NTA. She is being cruel, and she is acting as she wanted to replace you for your dad. If your dad can't see this, and he is not being totally opposed to call his son the same name as you, he is a massive asshole. Not only she is. NTA. Not one bit. If she doesn't drop this idea, tell her that my mom and dad together picked out this name for me with love and lots of consideration, and it's indicative of their love and the great times they spent together and a bonding experience that they shared. Why would you want that to be your son's name? I'm thankful you wanted to include my mom and honor her choice in names. But maybe your kid wouldn't like that, or may not be okay with living under my shadow forever. I hope you are sure you want the reminder that the name was chosen by my parents when they were together. It will always remind me and my dad of my mom. And maybe that's why dad is okay with the name. If you're okay with this reminder and can live with it, great for you. Apostrophe. She is acting extremely weird. Maybe she is hikey jealous of Ops Mom. Either way, this is a great way to get under her skin. NTA. But like, what was your dad thinking here? He would introduce his kids at parties or whatever and everyone would be like, ah yes, Giuseppe 1 and Giuseppe 2. This is a normal 21st century naming convention. Funnily enough, in Italy, where the name Giuseppe is from, you legally would not be able to give the same name to two brothers who share their last name. You also cannot name a child after their father if they have the same last name, for bureaucratic reasons. NTA. Is she doing it on purpose so that you leave/move out? It seems she is going out of her way to aggravate you, because sadly, this is how it's gonna play out. If she gets her way, you will look for a way to leave and go NC with them. Perhaps you can come up with a nickname for the baby and have everyone on your family's side agree to use it to avoid confusion. Maybe this will give her a preview of how weird it will be to your family to have two half brothers with the same name. NTA. She says you don't own the name, so can't claim it as yours. Except that's how names work. You say your name is Giuseppe. Her logic is dumb, and the whole thing reeks of trying to cut you out of the family. Maybe bring that up that it's hard to see this as anything other than her replacing you. Also, ruining the experience of naming a baby? Is it that special of a moment? And how would her stealing your name not be seen as her possibly ruining your relationship with her and your half-brother? She is so selfish. NTA. A friend of mine had something similar happen to her sister. Divorced dad married a younger woman, had a baby, and gave her the exact same name as one of his adult children. And overall, people's first reaction was, what a crappy dad, forgetting your existing children for the new shiny family. Apostrophe. Maybe appealing to your dad's ego will convince him. It's absolutely true that people will give him the side E. Possibly more than Kaylee. After all, what kind of unthinking idiot gives two of his children the same name? Who is he? George Foreman. NTA. And if she pushes through, consider changing your last name when you turn 18 to maybe your mother's maiden name. Then there is a difference in this identity legally. Your dad might hate that. It's mega weird to have two kids with the same name that's used permanently, and your stepmom sounds very stupid. It's not as weird to have it as a middle name. Point out to your dad that it improves the identity theft possibilities, and do take steps for that if she does continue. /Personal Finance has some info about that. If this was a stepbrother, one that was already here and named when your dad met Kaylee, that wouldn't be weird. If you were already dead, lol J/K, then it wouldn't be weird. As it is, it sounds to me like Kaylee might be trying to replace you with her son. Also, she probably hasn't thought about how difficult this might make things in the future. If your identity and his get mixed up, it might be nigh on impossible to straighten things out. Also, when your dad passes away, he'd have to be extra super duper careful with his will to make sure Kaylee doesn't grab the stuff meant for you and give it to her son. NTA. Yes, you can own a name if you're the one who is named that. Haven't seen anyone mention this, but this will also become a major issue when you vote, open a bank account, credit cards, commit a crime, etc. for both yourself and your half-brother, because there are two men of the same name, presumably living in the same area, with the same father. Your identities will 100% get mixed up, and your stepmother could potentially commit fraud against you, pretending your details are her son's. NTA. And if she keeps insisting, starting saying, okay, I thought about it, and I just think it's so sweet you think so much of me, you want you name my bro after me, and then start telling everyone that's why she choose it. So you have accepted it now cause it's so sweet. Then she'll come across even more tar if she makes a stink. NTA. Does this woman have no idea how credit scoring and stuff like that works? Two people with the same name, same address, and same father won't exist in databases. You'll be cleaned into a single composite identity. My father and I had the same name, and we were, for essentially all legal and business purposes, one person. This doesn't work the way she thinks it is. She's right that you don't own the name, but if she chooses it, she's condemning her son, as well as you, to sharing an identity without your consent or his. And just because she's clueless doesn't mean your dad gets to sit back and watch her screw both his sons at once. He needs to get a spine and deal with this. NTA. It's not like your cousins and it's a shared family name. It's a family name from your mother. It's super weird to have siblings have the same name. Kaylee is unhinged. This is totally weird. It will create so much confusion in the household. This is your dad's battle to fight as a father. NTA. This reminds me of King of the Hill. The main character, Hank, ends up with a half-brother who his dad names Good Hank. OBV insinuating that original Hank is bad Hank. Your stepmom is trying to wipe the slate clean and start your dad's life over. Kick up a fuss. Keep your name yours. Has your father thought of any of the other problems people have when someone else has the same name as them? This article deals with people with common names, but the idea is the same. Someone with the exact same name as you, with a possibly different middle name, causes problems. Same name but bad search results. What to do? Business to community link. Business to community. com/online marketing/ same name but bad search results. What to do? 02241368. Here's one where two college roommates have the same name. What is it like to be with a person who has the exact same name as you? Slate. Com. Link. reddit.com/humaninterest/2013/0 to what is it like to be with a person who has the exact same name as you. HTML. This one goes into more of the legal problems you two could have. I know you're 16 years apart, but once you're both adults, you'll both be applying for loans with the same name and most likely be in the same city. It will still be easy to get the two of you mixed up, not to mention how the same name will negatively affect both of you in the family. Do you feel like you're being replaced? Well, that younger brother might feel like a copy with no real identity of his own. His accomplishments will always be compared to his half brother with the same name. See if either of these two will help them realize how bad of a decision this is. It's not just an emotional I don't want to share situation. It has real life consequences for the both of you. NTA. Convey that it's like Kaylee is trying to erase you. Also point out that any legal documents are going to be challenging to enforce and untangle, like power of attorney, wills, insurance claims, hospital bills, etc. NTA. That is weird. Why would she want a stepson and son with the same first name? Question mark. Why would your dad want two sons with the same first name? Is he George Foreman? Lol. Sounds to me as if your stepmom is trying to be competitive and fit into the family by using a family name. They need to pick another name. Imo. That's ridiculous to have two sons with the exact first name. NTA. If your dad allows her to give their son the same name as you, Emmett the rest of his life, he would have to explain a few thousand times to others that he has two sons with the same first name. He might as well tattoo dickhead on his forehead. NTA, but be braced to lose this battle. Your father sounds like a doormat and your stepmother will probably wear him down. I'd be thinking of appropriate nicknames for him now to avoid confusion. I expect Minor would really get on your stepmother's nerves. NTA. Who gives siblings the same name? It's SM's way pushing you out of the family. You and your name have a special place in the family because you were named after your dad's father. It's a connection to your dad and his family that a son won't have. She is jealous and wants her son to have that connection and supersede you in the family. You need to have a discussion with your father about this. You are his firstborn son and he cannot let her drive you out of your father's life. It's even worse than that. Op is named after his grandfather on his dead mother's side. While the baby will be biologically related to Op, he still won't be linked to that wing of the extended family. Stepmom is playing a messed up power move to claim a family name from a family that neither she nor her son are even associated with. And it appears just to be to spite her husband's first kid. NTA. But if Kaylee really wants a reminder of her husband's ex-wife every time she thinks about her son, and wants her son to think she didn't even love him enough to give him his own name, then there's probably not much you can really do to stop her. I thought I was coming into a thread where your family had this huge cultural naming tradition and this baby would be the 10th Nick or the 15th Mary or something like that. But you're right, dude. This is weird. NTA. Naming her kid your name makes it seem like it's your child. Is she trying to suggest she had a kid with you? Like having a little junior? Tell them that's what it looks like and it will spoil your relationship with the child. I personally know people in the same exact situation. Two half brothers from the same father with the same name. It was terrible for them and for everyone around them when they were mentioned by their name. No one knew which one of them was mentioned. We had to guess from the context. NTA. It's also going to cause problems with identity later as adults. Point that out to your father. My ex and his father had the same first but different middle names and on health insurance, credit, etc. It was problematic. Companies get confused and send the wrong stuff to the wrong person and you spend hours straightening it out. NTA. That's quite a bit messed up. It feels to me like Kaylee is trying to cement herself into the family through using familial names. Although that may not be the case. I'm the oldest child from a divorced couple. My dad remarried very quickly, and while the relationship absolutely worked out for the best, and I adore my siblings, half siblings, but they are full siblings in my mind. Now, that wasn't always the case. I'm effectively the only person in that nuclear family without a family inherited name. My brother and father have the same name. My sister and stepmother have the same name. So, imagine the introductions. This is X. This is XJR. This is Y. This is YJR. Oh, and this is Z. It pissed me off as an adolescent. I remember once having a full-blown fight with my dad and absolutely demanding that, if they had another child, I was going to name the child after myself or something I liked. Point being, names are important. I felt so alienated from them knowing that I was the only one with a different name. Feeling somehow that I was given up, put away, distance, abandoned for a new family with matching names and parents that loved each other. It's not quite the same. But they should consider what effect this will have on you relating with your family moving forward. It really messed me up as a teen. Even if I didn't talk about it much. NTA. My friend has a similar situation. His father and his stepbrother all share the same name. It has also caused some legal issues and he's actually been harassed by debt collectors that were really looking for his brother. If your dad lets this happen, he is tar. This was literally my first thought. Could it be the same for things like school and job applications? If it has legal issues regarding loans and credit applications, the brother won't even be a junior. Just the same name with a different social. I have had the exact same situation. When I was 5 years old, my dad remarried. His wife had a 1-year-old son with my exact name. I had been Matthew all my life. Stepmom refused to change her son's name because if I wanted to call him by his middle name, I would named him that. I became Matt and stepbrother was Matthew. Years of hilarity ensued. /s. This may seem insignificant to others, and it certainly was seen that way by my dad and stepmom, but reality was it was extraordinarily disruptive to me. At 5 years old, I had lost my mom then. Within a year, my name was taken, and I was given another. 50+ years later, and I still deal with the consequences of that change. What followed was constant confusion for the family, schools, friends, etc. Did you want Matt or Matthew older or younger? Currently, I now use my full name Matthew while my stepbrother's friends all call him Matt, but he wants family to still call him Matthew. Family members all fumble with what name to use. Hey Matt, I mean Matthew. Names are extremely important. They form the basis of identity. When people are exploring their world, one of the ways they do this is by trying on new identities, by shifting their name to nicknames, shortened versions, etc. When this is done by personal choice, it's a healthy thing. When it's forced on you, it's very unhealthy. NTA. Good luck op. NTA. At all. Either this woman really likes your name and has not thought about it much, or she is trying to replace you, or she is Queen Stupid of 2020. Not matter what the reason, it is weird and, I'd even say, wrong to do this. It's like erasure of identity in both you and the baby will suffer. It also would be easy for identity theft. Tell your father that and ask if he and his wife are trying to commit a crime against him. Ask your maternal relatives to help secure your information and maybe see a lawyer in case something comes up. Tell her and everyone that, even if it is uncomfortable for you, that she decided to name her baby after you. It's a nice gesture. Make sure everyone your dad and his wife know think that this is a reason she is doing it. She'll backtrack like hell. Your father is not faultless just because he agrees with you. If he truly about you, or even to the baby, he'd have shut this shit down earlier. If they don't change their decision by her 6-month mark, have a serious talk with your father. Tell him that by going through with it, he is indirectly telling you he doesn't care about you and wants to erase you from his life, and that you will change your surname and will have no relationship with him so that he and his perfect little family can pretend to be the perfect little family, because that's what he clearly wants. There are so many good ideas in the comments. Choose everything that will work for you. But no matter what you do not open fight with her, whether in public or at home. People like this will always use their pregnancy to portray you as an asshole teen. Always be calm but stand strong. Publicly say she's naming the baby after you. Privately tell them both they are deliberately pushing you away, and that no matter how much they pretend it is something else, you know this is the truth. They will bring in other people into this who will try to bully you into giving up. Tell those people, if family is important, why the hell are they trying to duck with a minor child's identity, and why are these family-oriented people helping them bully a minor child? Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.